feel like a possibility.
No, you don't.
Yes,
I do. You
it's
just
not my
mad
baby.
that you was a side chick.
You just mad because your baby they never claimed you.
Yeah.
I don't run no circus and I don't need no clown. We talking about a baby. She should know who you are. She needs the daddy that's gonna carry the world on his shoulders for her. I know you say you're not emotional. I get all that.
In this episode of Paternity Court, Chantel Percival and Teresa Hansen, two women from separate mothers, claim that Michael Hansen is their biological father. Despite their mother's claims, the latter vehemently denies it. In fact, for the past 31 years, Hansen has rejected Percival as his daughter. So, what's the story behind all this?
So, Miss Percival,
Yes,
please,
ma'am.
share with the court why you feel Mr. Hansen has rejected.
I feel that he's rejected me since, well, my whole life I've grown up not knowing who my father was, knowing that my sister, who was also through my mother, who is Michael's daughter, she was a baby, but denied me the whole entire time. So I grew up my whole entire life not knowing who my father was because he refused to take a DNA test.
Mr. Hansen, what I'm trying to understand is you have one child with her mother. Why is it you deny?
Oh, so that's Hansen's defense. But nobody is buying it one bit, especially not Percival. Hansen claims that he was married when Chantel Percival was born. Because of that fact, he couldn't possibly be Percival's father because, according to him, he did not cheat on his wife at the time.
You're in a marriage,
Yes.
and you say you never cheated on your wife.
Yeah, that's right.
And your wife gave birth within a month of the time that Miss Percival was born.
I was with the other woman at the time she was conceived, so there's no way she could be my daughter. I am not her father, Your Honor.
And you seem pretty confident about that.
I guarantee it.
So, Miss Percival,
Yes, Your Honor.
when were you told that he was your father?
When I was 6 years old.
Whoa! Hansen also doubts that the child, Teresa, whom his wife gave birth to at the time, is his. Now, this is getting wild. What's even worse is that Percival's mom, Miss Vial Pando, claims that all through the time that she was seeing Hansen, they were sexually intimate. However, she didn't even know that he was married at the time. That's if he was indeed married.
Let me ask you, were you intimate with Mr. Hansen while he was with his wife?
Yes, if they were married at that time, yes, because we were seeing each other off and on, and then he went back to Tracy.
No.
And his contention
That's wrong.
is that he was married and he never cheated.
I'll take a lie detector test. I would never cheat on Tracy, ever.
And given the
Never
fact
with her
that
after
your
we split up.
daughters are 1 month apart, it's your contention that he in fact was going back and forth.
Correct, Your Honor.
And he is the father.
That's a lie.
Interesting. However, Miss Vial Pando begged to differ. She stated that she told Hansen the very day Percival was born, and that he said she wasn't his. Hansen stands his ground that after Vial Pando had their first child together, they were never sexually intimate again, and both went their separate ways. At this point, the judge brings in Hansen's ex-wife and daughter.
Huh?
Hold on 1 second before you say what you have to say. State your name for the court.
Tracy Merchant.
You're Ms. Merchant, and your name?
I'm Teresa Hansen.
All right. So, Ms. Merchant, you were married to Mr. Hansen.
Yes.
At the time that Miss Percival was conceived.
Yes, I knew that she was born. I knew she was his when she was born.
You did?
Yes,
No,
I did.
that's a
Yes,
lie.
I did.
I was with you. How could I be with
And
you?
her.
No, I was not.
Yeah.
Now this is a perfect gang-up. Hansen is right in the middle as these two women expose his lies. Worse, Hansen now denies that Teresa, his ex-wife's daughter, is his. He claims that after he had divorced his wife, he heard rumors about her having sexual relations with his older brother, which sparked his doubt. But even before the rumors, Hansen was terrible to Teresa.
You are.
Your Honor, growing up with him, well, he was in and out of my life, but the times that I was around him, it was your mom's a whore, you're a whore, and
I didn't call you a
Yes,
whore.
you did, numerous times.
No, I didn't.
You're gonna be like your mom. What kind of man does that?
I didn't do that. No, I didn't call her no whore.
Yeah.
Her mother's one thing. No,
I lived
she's
with him
not.
for 3 mother a whore. He's never denied any of my brothers. He's always taken care of them. Always felt like I was never worth having a father, and I should have never felt like that.
Hansen just keeps getting sucked into the dirt. It's now 4 women's statements against only him. It can't be coincidental that not even one of these women has something nice to say about him other than he denied and mistreated them all their lives. But now it seems like he is willing to change how both girls see him if they end up being his daughters after the DNA tests are out.
No matter the outcome, if she's my daughter, I'll take full responsibility. But I have a real big doubt, and I don't mean to make you feel bad in anything, in any way. I'm not that kind of person. I would put you in my life.
If you're not that kind of person and didn't want to make me feel bad, why would you say what you did?
I told you, because there's no way. I know for a fact you're not
But
my.
why would you say that to somebody?
Because I know for a fact you're not my daughter.
Your Honor, I have evidence of our birth.
Oh, hold on. I'd like to see that.
Yes,
Jerome,
ma'am.
please hand me that evidence, please.
I know for a fact you're not my daughter.
You submitted a count.
Oh boy, this does not look good. Well, at least for Hansen. These two women, Percival and Teresa, have gone through so much in their lives and have made terrible decisions that will forever have a permanent mark on them. The root cause? Hansen's absence in their lives. This has now led to a buildup of pain and resentment towards Hansen.
So I went through the same resentment. I have resentment so much towards him for not having a father figure in my life and him denying me for 31 years. It was the worst growing up like that.
See,
it was
they're
the
saying
worst.
I'm denying him.
You are denying him.
I'm not denying him if I can't find him.
No,
That's wrong.
Mr. Hansen, don't sit up here on this witness stand and start backtracking. Because when you stood over there, you said, I do not believe Miss Percival is my daughter.
Yup, I agree too. Hansen might be able to reject Percival's mom's statement about Percival being his daughter. Similarly, he can also talk about having doubts that Teresa is his. However, once the DNA results are revealed, he has no choice but to believe what science states. Now let's see how that goes.
Mr. Hansen, you are her father.
Yeah.
Mr. Hansen, you are her father.
I'm sorry. I love you both. I'm sorry. I really am.
Mr. Hansen, is there anything you
I
want to say to your
apologize.
beautiful
I'm
little
sorry.
girls?
I'm
Grown
sorry.
girls.
I'll be in your life from here to the rest of my life.
Ashley Sales wants to find out the paternity of her 3-year-old daughter, Micaiah, after being denied by the presumed father, D'Amico Jackson. Ashley claims that Jackson wanted them to have a baby, which they did, and now he does not want to take responsibility. On the other hand, Jackson claims that Ashley is a side chick who just wants to pin her baby on him.
You claim that Miss Sales is a former side chick who is trying to pin a baby on you only because she wants you back in her life. You are certain you are not her daughter's father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Miss Sales, explain why you opened your case today.
I opened my case today because I was with D'Amico for 5 years. We were in a relationship. We had our baby, and now because he sits up and talks to his family.
Oh, wow. However, Jackson claims that he and Ashley were never in any relationship and that she was just his side woman. Shocked, Ashley goes on to tell the court how he was always at her house every day and that he was the only one she was with for a whole year, despite him saying that she was with other guys apart from him. If they truly were together, how long?
How long did it go on for?
When I first met him, I had moved out of town, so we had, lost contact. That's when he met his ex and they got in a relationship. When I moved back in town, he never let me know about this relationship he had. I found out because a friend of mine told me that he had a girl. He never said anything to me about it. And by the time he actually started trying to confess that he had a girlfriend, we had already been together for 6 to 8 months, already having sex with each other unprotected on the regular.
Ashley is clearly not letting Jackson have it. Determined to hear Jackson's side of the story, Judge Lauren asked him to talk about the day he found out about the pregnancy. However, while he was telling the story, Jackson kinda got the gist wrong, and Ashley began telling it. Boy, you would not believe what these two have been up to. Take a look at this.
Went to the doctor because
2
I
months
had
later.
a cyst ruptured in my stomach, so I had to go to the hospital because I was very sick. He went with me, but he was my side piece, right? But he took me and went with me to the hospital. So I was getting a lot of tests ran and things done to me. They was telling me no, I wasn't pregnant at the time because I had polyps. So the nurse explained that it was really hard for me to get pregnant and my chances was very slim. But at the time, I had already gotten off of birth control and was trying to have a baby with him. We had sex at the hospital that same night.
These two are wild. Anyway, by October, Ashley found out that she was some weeks pregnant, and so far, all these two have said shows that both of them were constantly sexually intimate with each other, side piece or not. So, it is possible that Ashley could have gotten pregnant within the span of their lovemaking. But why exactly is Jackson still adamant?
Why is it you think you can't be Micaiah's biological father? It seems like you at least a possibility.
Your Honor, one day I was over my family member house doing some work with him, and a friend of us called and said that they seen her in a car with some light-skinned guy with dreads and say this who she been seeing. It's a possibility could be her baby daddy or anything like that.
That's a lie.
Yes, and a lot of people in the car and told me that she was riding around with this cat.
Oh, people have seen her in the car riding around with this guy.
Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. True story.
Ashley claims that Jackson's ex, who wanted him back, cooked up all of the rumors about her being with someone else. Meanwhile, Jackson claimed that he found texts between Ashley and the other man about her pregnancy, but Ashley debunked it as pure lies. Due to Jackson's statement about the timeline, the court examined the calendar he submitted.
So you actually submitted a calendar to the court to outline your doubt as it relates to the timeline.
Yes,
Can you step up to the monitor, please?
I broke up with Miss Sales June. I got back with my ex July. We went to the hospital in August to check about her uterus because she had problems. I did not know she was pregnant until like a month or two later. That's when she told me she was pregnant.
So when do you finally find out Miss Sales is pregnant?
It's around like September.
There it is, September.
Yes, ma'am.
The last week.
Yes, ma'am.
Outlined in hot pink.
Yes, ma'am.
Micaiah was born in May, on May 9th.
Yes, ma'am.
Man, even the judge does not buy anything that comes out of this man's mouth at this point. Jackson's body language is all too wrong, which is starting to make him suspicious. But Jackson isn't done yet. He introduces a witness to the court who turns out to be his sister. Dernisha Jackson, Demeco's sister, had something to say about the situation. Let's see what she says.
Called me crying one night because he said Ashley admitted to him that she had slept with a light-skinned dude with dreads, and there's a possibility that Micaiah might not be his.
And what did you tell your brother, Miss Jackson?
I just told him to take a DNA test, which he said he tried to take one.
Ashley had, faked the fallout, started crying, things like that, so we had to leave.
I drove up there. It was my car. I not want to take the DNA test.
We had to leave, so.
How do you fake a fallout?
She started crying outside the building because she didn't want to take
Was
the
you
DNA
standing
test.
there?
No, he told me.
Anyway, enough of all this. All this couple needs to be able to move past this situation is the result of the DNA test. So, is Mr. Jackson truly Micaiah's father or not? Let's find out.
Mr. Jackson, you are the father.
Now I know who my baby is.
Miss Sales, you don't have to do that. I don't run no circus, and I don't need no clowns.
I understand.
We're talking about a baby. She should know who you are.
She know who I am.
She don't need no side daddy. She needs the daddy that is going to be protecting her. She needs the daddy that's going to carry the world on his shoulders for her. And Miss Sales, I'm going to be honest. I get it. I see your tears. I know you say you're not emotional. I get all that.
This couple is on the verge of getting a divorce due to paternity doubts from the husband, Mr. Cohen. This man claims that his wife, Mrs. Cohen, brought another man to their home and had intimate sexual relations with him when he, Mr. Cohen, was not home. Due to this discovery, Mr. Cohen claimed that he started to doubt whether their one-year-old son, Kyrie, was truly his. However, Mrs. Cohen wants to prove him wrong.
I want to prove to him that he is the father of our one-year-old son. He's my high school sweetheart. We met in the 10th grade. We started dating. We've been together for 7 years, married for 3, and I just really want to prove to him and his family members that he is the father of our one-year-old son.
What are you feeling right now?
I'm just hurt a lot because he makes it seem like I'm just the only one that's out here cheating when he's the one cheating too. Like, he made me feel like less of a woman when I had our one-year-old son. I didn't feel pretty.
Okay, let's get this straight. Both parties have been cheating on each other. But at some point, Mr. Cohen started feeling hurt and is demanding a paternity test. Now, these two have been ruining their 3-year marriage. Why? Well, Mr. Cohen has something to say about it. So, let's hear him out.
I do take blame of starting our bad marriage off. I wasn't ready to be a father or a husband to our oldest child, but I took the role and I tried as best as I can. I didn't look at my wife the same way after she had him, and I was young and I wanted to do everything my friends was doing. It wasn't the best choice, which led us here today.
I appreciate the honesty. I do.
Since then, their marriage has taken a downturn. It got worse to the point that Mrs. Cohen felt unseen in her marriage, that she got involved with another man, and that the trust between the pair was almost non-existent. At some point, they both decided to call it quits, but got back together again. It was around that time that Mr. Cohen found out that his wife was cheating.
Jasmine's phone one day after we got back together, her phone was locked. She had a passcode on it. So I had to get in that phone. I said, okay, what can I do? I used all Jasmine's 10 fingers on her finger to unlock her iPhone.
How?
She had a lock on her phone with her finger.
Right, so how did you use her fingers?
She was asleep at the time, and I put her finger on the phone, and she continued to stay asleep.
Wow, all right. right?
Yes.
Boy, this trust issue had eaten deep into Mr. Cohen. During his search, he stumbled upon Mrs. Cohen's notes app, where she wrote his name and that of 2 other guys. Now, while Mr. Cohen's recognized the first guy's name as the guy she had intimate sexual relations with while they were younger, he didn't recognize the other name. That struck a chord, and Cohen went into full-on FBI mode.
I went straight to Instagram, typed in the name.
And you were doing this all in the middle of the night?
It wasn't even actually night, it was daytime.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Inspector Gadget. So then you go to Instagram, and what happens?
I went to Instagram, I typed in the guy's name, and his name popped up first. I clicked on that picture. I went into his DMs, and I was like, "You're having a baby, sir." And he replied back to me, acting like he knew exactly who I was.
What? So Mrs. Cohen, while on community service, met a man and had a one-time sexual encounter with him. However, Mrs. Cohen had already found out that she was pregnant in April. Now, she and this other man were sexually intimate in May, which kind of explains why baby Kyrie can't possibly be for the stranger. In her defense, Mr. Cohen was also cheating at the time.
I was getting him back. That's all that was. He was cheating. My husband has made me feel so low. Like, he's chosen females over me plenty of times. So it was my time to get back at him. So I was just doing what I wanted to do.
Was the sex unprotected?
With who?
With the community service guy.
Yes.
And you find out your wife is pregnant.
Yeah.
Take me to that day.
I wasn't happy at all, to be honest, because I wasn't ready to have another child and we was already in a bad place. During that time, that was when we were still broken up. I was in and out of the home.
Clearly, Mrs. Cohen disagrees with what her husband said. She claimed that they were intimate every day, and sometimes twice a day. But Mr. Cohen seems to have a bad memory and can't recollect such a thing ever happening. Meanwhile, the judge mentions that Mr. Cohen had proof that could support his claims. This proof is a medical report. So, let's see what it entails.
I have type 2 diabetes, and I didn't have no insurance at the time, so it was uncontrolled, meaning my sugars were always high. So every time I would ejaculate, my semen would become weird and it can't travel right.
So how I get pregnant, Corey?
Well, I was about to say, you all do have another child together, right?
Yes, Your Honor. I didn't have diabetes at the time.
So because of this is very interesting.
Medical expert Dr. Richardson testifies that while Mr. Cohen's statement about his medical situation being able to affect his ability to procreate is true, it doesn't completely close the window on that ability. What I mean is that yes, Mr. Cohen can be affected by his medical situation, but he also can impregnate a woman successfully despite that. But still, this doesn't quell Mr. Cohen's doubts.
So after hearing this testimony, Mr. Cohen, do you feel differently about your paternity doubts?
She still slept with another man, so there's still doubt inside of me.
So, Ms. Cohen, have you remained in touch with this other man?
No, why would I do that? I just want to prove to him and his family, because his family treats my baby completely different than our first child. Like, when I had him, they didn't post him on their Facebook. They didn't buy him nothing for his birthday. Like, they treat him different than my other son.
Right. Anyway, the time has come for us to find out whether or not Mr. Cohen is the biological father of little Kyrie. Who else is curious to know the DNA test result? Well then, let's find out.
Mr. Cohen, you are the father.
Be quiet.
I'll tell you, I mean, some of the best life lessons come from the hugest mistakes. That's just the way it goes. This should be an important lesson to you both. And it shouldn't take coming to paternity court to figure out how much you both mean to one another, or the chance to make it right is over. Because it's never too late for a brand new start. You guys can do the work